Hi guys, good morning and welcome to Aussie's Group. This is Vitisha Vitlani and I welcome you back on another Saturday morning. And for those of you who are going to be joining me, thank you so much for being live with me today. For those of you who are going to watch this later on, you can add your comments in the comment section. I will surely be, letting you know that, whatever queries and doubts you have. So, first of all, how's your lockdown going? Have you guys started preparing? And are you guys doing enough? Like, are you guys really working that hard? Because I want you to work that hard. And as I always say, that this is the time where you guys have, more than sufficient time to really, really prepare for something. And we're here. And we have a lot of webinars, a lot of presentations. IELTS tutorials is always, always there. Like, the amount of material that this site has. I always say this, so a lot of students tell me that you keep promoting it because it's your own. It's not because of that. On a genuine note, I will give to students what I feel like is the best thing. Like for example, if when I teach in class, I would refer this to my students as well. So hence, I'm referring this to you so that you guys can really be helped through this. So why are we here today? For those of you who are here, hi guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are safe and you guys are doing okay. And meanwhile, if you have any comments related or any questions related to IELTS, just post it in the comment box. Okay. And yeah, so why are we here today? What is the topic? So last 2-3 weeks back, I had explained you a band descriptor table and all, and back then a lot of students had asked me that what is the actual format of the task 2. How do you literally write task 2? Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much. So a lot of people had asked me that how do you actually write the task 2? What is the exact way of writing task 2? So today I'm here to explain you that. Now, first and foremost, understand this concept. When you're writing an essay, okay, that essay is your write up, right? That essay is your write up. So, what is the point here? The point here is when you're writing something which is your write up, you can have any format. So, if there are some people who is telling you that the British Council and the IDP have told that if you write in a certain format, then only we are going to give you marks. Don't listen to them. What the British Council has told, what the examiners expect is you to follow the band descriptor table criteria. They are not expecting you to follow a certain format. There is no official format for a writing task too. Of course, there are a number of tried and tested formats, and then what I follow is this one. So I'll tell you about it. But if there's somebody is telling you that if you follow this format, then only you're going to pass the exam, no. If I am a very good writer and I want to give my content in 3 paragraphs, I'm okay. If I'm a very good writer and I have a beautiful layout in mind and I want to make 5 paragraphs, okay. If you want to follow the standard format and go for 4 paragraphs, okay. The examiner is not somebody who's going to tell you that okay, oh my god, she's made 4 paragraphs, I'm going to give her more marks. Oh my god, she's made 6 and this is like a not a very good setup. No. So there's nothing like that. So don't worry about it. Sometimes you can always use your own discretion when it comes to writing. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. You have to make sure that you are confident in your writing and what you write is flawless. What you write is synchronized. As I always say, the clarity and synchronization really makes a lot of difference. So yes, before, I'm not going to like stretch it for very long today's live. I'm going to keep it a little short because the topic is just about the format, and I would want to tell you. So see, basically what I rely on 4 paragraphs: introduction, body 1, body 2, conclusion. For those of you who don't know the format, keep a pen and paper at your hand. So it's like it's going to, you can just note it down. Okay, that's going to help you. So yeah, first introduction, body 1, body 2, conclusion. That's how we go about it. Now, when you're writing the introduction, let's get to the breakdown of it. When you're writing the introduction, if somebody is reading your introduction, that somebody would not need to go back to the question and check what is written. That somebody, after reading your introduction, should understand what the question is, should understand the topic of the essay, and should understand what you're going to give to it. That is the essence of an introduction. That is an essence of introduction that is needed, right? So what is needed in, so how do you break down to it? General statement, paraphrasing, and your topic statement. Now what is a general statement? General statement is basically a line to kickstart the essay. General statement is just a line to kickstart the essay. For example, my essay is something about causes and consequences of pollution. So I can simply start my essay with, it is very evident that environment is deteriorating day by day. Simple. I can't simply say the cause of pollution are blah blah blah, the consequence of pollution is blah blah blah. I can't do that, right? I have to kickstart an essay. How do I kickstart an essay? By giving a macro level perspective about the topic. So this was about pollution, so I could say environment. Let's say it's about traffic. So what can I say about traffic? I can say something like because of overpopulation, the cities are getting crammed day by day. Again, a macro level. So that is your general statement. You begin a essay with a general statement. Now see, sometimes what happens is the paraphrasing and the thesis statement becomes very lengthy. So at that point of time, avoid the general statement. Okay. Now, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is when you rephrase the question, when you rewrite the question in your own words. That exactly is paraphrasing, when you're rephrasing the question. Now, this is very important. How do you do that? You do that with two things. The first thing you do it is you use synonyms, and the second thing you do is you change the sentence structure. So if somebody is asking me what are the causes of pollution, I can say that there are a number of reasons as to why pollution is increasing day by day, and this has serious effects on mankind. So instead of causes and consequences, I used another words and I changed the sentence structure. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. So again, let's get back to the introduction. Your introduction should be, again, one more thing before I forget, it shouldn't be very long, it shouldn't be very short. It has to be mediocre. So only 45 words. Make sure 45 words, that's the only length. What does your introduction have? Your introduction is 3 sentences. General statement, paraphrasing of the topic, and your thesis statement, right? This is something that's very important. Now, when I'm talking about the introduction, you have to make sure that the introduction basically includes a lot of things, includes the topic, includes the question, that is the main thing, and also includes your response to it. That is something that has to be there. So all of you who are watching are clear with the introduction? If yes, put a comment yes right there, so I will get to know that you're actually useful, this was useful. Moving on to the body paragraph. Coming to the body paragraph 1 and 2 can be like around 100 words each. So it begins with a topic statement. Now what is a topic statement? A topic statement is a statement of what the paragraph is about. So for example, if I'm giving advantages, so I can simply write there are several upsides to this or several benefits of this. Okay, then I begin. First and foremost, the prime one is, then comes the linker, and then I have my main idea and I explain it in 3 to 4 lines. Then I have my secondary idea, which I again explain in 3 to 4 lines. Then I give an example, and then that's about it. So the structure of the paragraph goes something like topic statement, main idea, explain in 3 to 4 lines, secondary idea, explain in 3 to 4 lines, and then you give an example. You can add an example between those two paragraphs also. Hello. You can add the example between the two paragraphs also, that between the two reasons also, depending. You can add an example wherever you want to. However, don't begin the paragraph with an example. Towards the end, towards the second body paragraph, it's going to be same thing. So how do you bifurcate those two paragraphs? Question number 1 in paragraph 1, question number 2 in paragraph 2. So if I'm asked advantages and disadvantages, I go with advantages. Then I go with disadvantages. So I'm asked with causes and consequences. I ask with causes, and then I go with the consequences. If I'm asked like agree, disagree, what to do then? 70% of your opinion, 30% of the other perspective. So in that case, the paragraph length will vary. It's going to be something around 120 and 70. Otherwise, it's 100. So 45, 100. And then comes the conclusion. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is nothing but amalgamation of what you've written. When you're writing a conclusion, you're actually summarizing the whole thing, right? You're giving a summary of it. So if basically it should not include anything that you've not written in the essay. It should not include no new example, like technically it has to have no new points, no new example, it's just the amalgamation of it, right? So that is what you're supposed to do in the conclusion. So it's introduction, body 1, body 2, conclusion. So conclusion is going to be 30 words. So introduction is 45, body 1 is like 100, body 2 is 100, conclusion is around 30. So it will give you an average length about 275. That would obviously suffice your minimum word length. So it's going to, be useful to you. Okay, another thing while writing, you have to make sure there are a few things that you keep in mind. When you're writing the introduction, I can't stress the importance of introduction. You have to include the topic. Make sure you're not copying the question, you're using synonyms, you're using paraphrasing. Then what you have to do is when you're writing body paragraph 1 and 2, you can't just write too many ideas. For example, let's say that there are too many causes of pollution. Can I write all of them? No. What I am supposed to write or what I am expected to write is two main causes, but explaining them in depth, explaining them in 3 to 4 lines. That is something that I explained in the previous live session when I was explaining you the band descriptors. Okay, I'll explain it today also. Then you have to add an example because it is asked in the question. Same thing you do for the body paragraph 2 and same thing you do for the conclusion. Now, when we're following this format, what really happens is, why do I follow this format? Is because it matches the band descriptor table. Let's go to the band descriptor table. Let's revise what we did the earlier thing. Now, what is the band descriptor table? Band descriptor table is a table through which the examiner judges your essay, through which the examiner makes sure how to check your essay. So what does it say? First, it says task achievement. Now, what is task achievement? You writing 250 words. Now, when I'm breaking down the paragraphs and I am adding the sufficient word count, have I done that? Yes. Secondly, it says extend and elaborate your ideas. Now, because I'm putting only 2 ideas per paragraph, have I extended my ideas? Yes. Right? So, I'm not losing marks there. Third thing, to give an example. Am I giving an example? Yes. Now, when you're doing your task achievement, the main thing is however good format you follow, you have to be very, very relevant. If you're not relevant, it's not going to help you. Right? So, again, relevancy is the key here. You have to be very, very relevant. So, that was about task achievement. Coming to coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion is synchronization and clarity. When you have this paragraphing system, when your paragraph is enough, so at that time what's happening is you've maintained your sequence, you've maintained your synchronization. Because you've maintained your sequence and synchronization, you have coherence. Also at that point of time, what you do is you add on your linkers, you add on your cohesive devices. That really works, right? So these are the 2 band descriptors. The next is vocab, lexical resource. Using the correct word